Chuffy Chuffy 1 2 1 2 Chuff Chuff 1 2 Chuffy Chuffy 1 2 Chuffy 1 2. I've done the. I should do this. What we do on the first frames of the stream is that we put this "Hey You" and I wave my hand, and when it's uploaded to YouTube, people hover over it, and it should encourage them to watch it. So that's that. That's done. That's been done. You're listening to the dulcet tones on the web browser. Where's it gone? There's nothing there. I'm a total professional. I'll show you all about how professional I am in a second. Just a second. Web browsing. That one. Dulcet tones of music to chill and relax to calm PS2 6-hour mega mix by Jupiter Chiru. That's what you're listening to. And Scotty Hottie, of course. I'm the grave Kipper, so I'm the great. It's written down there below me. Playing on the Super Nintendo Switch today. Hey you. Hey you. What are we going to be doing? That doctor. Help me, doctor. I'll do the introduction and I'll check the sound. It's having Big Face back. Just slightly over to the side there when I look. There we go, that's better. Have me, let's have this. We like a bit of this. That was quick, didn't know that was coming, but it's back, look. So, we had that. That happened. You can't say it didn't. And I'm going to check the sound just by switching on. I'm going to check the sound just by, switching on. I'm going to check the... That seems alright. I mean, if the game music's a bit loud, it's a little bit loud, but it's not drowning out my voice. I'm going to pop out the chat. Nobody knows I'm coming on today. Been off for about, 20 days. Off Twitch for 20 days. Missed 2 Mental Health Mondays in a row. The final 2 of the darkest time of year. God, the chat's big, isn't it? Look, the chat's big. Let's make that smaller. The final 2 Mental Health Mondays of the darkest time of year. We're going to put our clocks back and then I'm going to be back on. And I'll give you a quick riff on why I've been away. The sun's been out and I took a few days to be out in the sun. And then at the same time, I was saying I was reducing my mirtazapene medication. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you know. I don't. If you care, it doesn't matter. We do Mental Health Monday every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. And I've been reducing my mirtazapene. And it got to, it's a good thing. Feeling better, reducing the antidepressant medication, but I didn't know until I did some research recently because of this. It got to the point where it started to make me feel more depressed again. Bottom line, and the first thing that went away was my desire to want to stream, and then other things crept in that started to make me feel bad that didn't used to make me feel bad when I was on a slightly higher dose. And I looked into it. It turns out there's the magic dose of about 10 milligrams, 8 to 10 milligrams. Is when it starts, or 8 to 10 to 15, it starts to make you feel not depressed, and then onward beyond that. I was started on 30, so I've come down to 15. I'd actually been hitting 10 to 8, so I've been hitting that magic marker of it lets you feel depressed again, and it turned out I did. So that's one of the reasons I've not been on. And then during that time, I wanted to look at what we were doing, reassess, make some more plans, come back brighter. Think about what we can produce and what we can do and stuff like that. And instead I just felt really down. Yesterday I listened to all the old songs that I was making that have been put on the back burner for years, just all that sort of stuff. I have obviously elevated the dose again, realising that, because what happens when you take the mirtazapene, we should talk about it on Mental Health Monday really, but I'm just giving you a quick fill in for anyone who's checking in who's like, oh, where's he been? You get a certain level in your system. It's got like a 3-day half-life. Basically, if you take one tablet, it will still be in your system after 3 days, and then it will dissipate. I think it's about 3 days. So you don't take just one, do you? You take a course of them regularly, and the level of mirtazapine in your system sort of elevates to a certain point, and then gets constant and steady. And then when you stop taking, the more you reduce, it doesn't just drop down; it just tapers over. Yeah, thanks. I'd say about doing better now. I don't know how much better I'm doing, but I am back on the stream and I have improved the level. I think there's like I say, you don't notice. You start reducing the dose, so you go from 15 to 10, yeah. And I felt fine. So I'm like, this is working, this is fine. But of course, that 3-day half-life and the reduction takes about a week for it really to kick in, and then another week for you to. And during that time, I was like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go down to 8. Maybe 7. It's hard to cut the pills in half, isn't it? So you just whatever. And that attitude, and also my attitude of, look, things are going to be okay. I'm going to tough my way through it. That was my attitude toward it. When I started to feel it, I said, look, I'm going to tough my way through it and keep doing it. That was I made a mistake there. What I should have said is, look, hang on, if it's starting to make me feel bad now, it's like the COVID, isn't it? You don't see the results in the numbers until weeks later. So anyway, back up to 15 now. Going to just steady it out, and then I'm going to have to come off them. I'm going to have to taper down. Life's going to have to make me feel good. I'm going to have to be able to look at life and not like I don't know. It's a mental health Monday discussion. The rest of it, like, you know, the feelings, But yeah, the first thing to go, like I said, was the desire to perform on the street. I don't perform. I just sit here and be myself, don't I? But the desire to come here and be myself. I mean, I could have done, but I don't think I would have given a good... Do you know what? One of the last things we did on stream, one of the last things I did on the YouTube, it was... and what we're doing today is we're playing Help Me Doctor, so it's going to be fun. So I'll just do a little bit of chatting first, and then we'll do Help Me Doctor, because God help me Doctor. But one of the last things we did on stream was what do I want to do? Web browsing, don't I? I want to web browse, and I want to look at our channel, and it's not on there. I deleted it. We did Falling Out the Sky, but I did something else in between, didn't I? I did a in between Mental Health Monday, Empathy for Ukraine, or it might have been The Worst Places. Maybe I finished The Worst, maybe it was that one. One of them anyway. I did a stream, a subject, you know, a thing, we got through it. And then at the end, Luke was here, one of our YouTube followers. Luke was in the chat, chatting to me. And basically, bottom line is, I went off it about Tyson Fury. I was like moaning about Tyson Fury. Because Luke said he liked Tyson Fury. And then I looked back and it was like, you know, that's an indication, isn't it? Instead of me being able to just sort of like, you know, ride out somebody chatting about Tyson Fury, I went full deep on the Kinahan cartel and the abuse of the mental health in favour of his public position. I just went full deep. It wasn't that necessary. I looked on that and thought, I don't know, that's an indicator, isn't it? So anyway, that's where we're at. So I've done the chatting about that now, haven't I? Done the chatting about that. Do you want to see Help Me Doctor? So what I've also got, I don't know about this. Wait, web browser, big face. I don't know about this. Obviously, I'm the grave kipper, yeah? One of the things a little bit more chat with, because I haven't crystallised this into an idea. I was supposed to have taken the days to crystallise this into an idea and come back and be like, right, this is the idea. But I'm the grave kipper. So I thought the focus on our gaming, because one of the things I realised, you can't play all the games. I've got to finish Pokemon. They're going to bring out the new Pokemon. They put Zelda back, thank God. Obviously, Arlo watched my video and then made his video, and then Nintendo listened to Arlo. Nobody listens to my video. There's not enough time to play all the games, so maybe I should have a bit of focus. Like, obviously, I want the indie games to be a bit of a focus. Yeah, I definitely want the indie games to be a focus, you know. So, but that meant, for example, like we played Pokemon. That was an experiment. Let's call it an experiment. I'm on the Nintendo Switch. I love the Nintendo games, yeah. But Dark Souls there. Dark Souls. I played a little bit of Dark Souls thinking, should I play Elden Ring? I can't. It's too big. It's too much. And is it indie? It's not indie anymore, is it, Dark Souls? FromSoft. They're not indie. They can't be indie, can they? Small indie company. But I do like the idea of the smaller indie games being our thing. I did play that. That was another thing that broke my brain just before I stopped streaming 20 days ago. Graveyard Keeper. It's a bit like... take all your time, have to play it like 48 hours a day. But should the focus be on, like, look there, Death Coming, Mausoleum, should the focus be on more of these sort of should you say like death based? You know, I'll be the grave kipper and our gaming content can be depressive and death based. What do you think about that? Is that a good concept? Now I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't sound as good. See, it's not a crystallised idea in my mind. It's not, and I'd be beholden to all the games that were. Maybe I should play Elden Ring in that case. Maybe I should be on Elden Ring because that's probably the most grave kippery game out there. I don't know. My head's still a bit of a swim. I don't have the answers. I know that I have to be present. That's the first thing. So here I am, and I know that. As we progress, we will form more interesting ideas. There's another thing, right? On the YouTube side of things, I'll go back to the web browser, YouTube for a second. When I do a stream on YouTube, I have noticed, like, England, the Worst Places is a good example there. It's a good example. Oh, I've moved it so you can't see it, right? Move it back then, you chuffer. All right, don't. Whatever. When I stream on YouTube, I do notice that YouTube suggests that, right? Like, for example, Kukiomi 2, a random stream, 16 views. YouTube suggested to people that they should watch that. Whereas either side of it, Pokey and Chill and the Pokemon trailer reaction, they were streamed on Twitch and uploaded to YouTube. It didn't suggest them to people. It's like, you're not having that. I don't want you uploading from Twitch. I want you here on YouTube. So we're going to be present on YouTube like we are daily. And I still have yet to find what I think is. And for the Gravekipper, I started to see Ways to Die. Ways to Die. I don't know if that... But I've got something else interesting to follow up with on YouTube in the week. Do it in the week, coming up in the week. Or I might start it tomorrow. I don't know. See, I'm unsure. What it is there's a conspiracy theory, right? It's going to get loopy. It's going to get loopy. There's a conspiracy theory. I need the big face for this. There's a conspiracy theory that's going on. And it's not one of these that you don't talk about, like the anti-vaccine or whatever, that you get booted off YouTube. It's a conspiracy theory about the... Wait, let me get this out. It's a conspiracy theory that in the year zero, because we do the calendar of Jesus, don't we? In the year of our Lord Anno Domini 0 onwards, but before that was before Christ, BC. There's this conspiracy theory, right? You'll love this. That since 0 and now, there's only actually been like 12,000 years, not 20,000, not the millennium, not that. What's happened is Jesus came back. They had the revelation, like at the end of the Bible, like everyone's waiting for the rapture. You know, everyone's waiting for the end of the world at the moment, aren't they? No, they've tailed off a bit, the old Christianity. It's tailed off a bit. About 30% religious in society, secular society now. It's tailed off a bit. But, like, people are waiting for the Jesus to come back, right? The conspiracy theory is, you're going to be waiting for a long time. He's already been. You missed him. He came back at 0. No, not 0. He died. Basically 0. He died, and then he had a year off, and then he came back. And like year 1 was the real year 0. That's part of it. And like honestly, this is the theory. And then what happened is that he ruled for a 1,000 years over the earth, and then let the devil have a go for a couple of 100 years. And we're in the bit where he's gone now. And the reason this conspiracy theory reckons that 800 years of history has been sort of made up and slotted in. So you don't just made up and slotted in, and that you couldn't have built cathedrals. Like how are people going to have built cathedrals? They're too difficult to build. So Jesus helped. That's why all the church buildings look nice. So already it sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? So I think that's something that we might do on YouTube. And the problem with it. In a minute we're going to play Get On Doctor. In a minute we're just going to play, like, I'm going to do a couple of hours of playing Get On Doctor. Help me Doctor. A couple of hours of that, and then I've got to walk the dog in the sunny shine towards the end of the day. You know, that's the plan for today. But in the week, my brain's not there yet. But in order to, debunk? In order to debunk the idea that Jesus Christ has already been risen, been here for 1,000,000 years, 1,000 years, gone, and that we're living in the end times of the devil. In order to debunk that, one of the problems is a lot of their ideas come out of the Bible, so it's a bit easy to debunk the Bible, isn't it? But I'm not going to do I'm not Richard Dawkins. I'm not here to kick the shit out of Jesus on stream. I'm not here to make people feel bad about their beliefs and their ideas. You know, I'm not here to do that. There's not many of them out there now that still really heavily into that, so don't take it away from them. What I'm here to do is to ask carefully who wrote the Bible. I think that's an interesting, because they're going to start a lot of this conspiracy theory that we're going to be like, hang on, I don't know about this. They're going to say, well, it says this in the Bible, and I want the first episode to be like, well, you know, we can always go back to that, can't we? Check out my episode on who wrote the Bible, you know. So I don't want to be a big meanie, and I felt like if I'm in a bad mood and I do that, it's going to come out really mean. So I don't know, maybe that's what's coming up on Monday. Here's the Super Nintendo Switch. This is Help Me Doctor. I'm the Gravekipper. And the other thing is, if I play only death games, isn't that going to be a bit morbid? And if I feel depressed, isn't that going to make me feel more depressed than you? But then I thought this, right? Then I thought this. Oh, Help Me Doctor's got its own sound. Oh my God. Start load credits. There's no options for the sound, Doctor. Oh, God. It's baseline. Right, that's getting turned off completely. I thought this, right? Is there a streamer out there? I bet there are. I bet there are loads. Because I don't watch them all. But is there a streamer out there that instead of representing that sort of LA influencer lifestyle, like I thought Asmongold a bit. Asmongold's quite real, isn't he? With his, realism. But I could just be like, maybe I could play all the death games and be morbid and depressive, and then lead us into Mental Health Monday every week quite helpfully, wouldn't it? Keep us on a depressive keel throughout the rest of the week and lead us into Mental Health Monday. I could be the streamer where my USP is depression. That's a good one, isn't it? You'd sell that to the agencies, wouldn't you? What kind of sponsor are we going to get? Something that, sits well with people who feel depressed. I mean, that could actually work. You could sell depressed people all sorts of stuff. Are you feeling down? That's the start of the advert, isn't it? It might be because you're not good enough. It probably is. It's probably your fault at the end of the day. Why don't you try this? See, look, I'm already good at the advert. Aren't I? And what you can do is, for me, if I get the sponsor, they can just throw money at me, and then money makes people happy, doesn't it? So, like, what I can do is I can go, look, before this sponsor came into my life, I felt depressed. Now I've got this sponsor, like, I feel great because I've got like a load of money. So, turns out this sponsor works, doesn't it? Turns out it's a bit like the Tyson Fury story, isn't it? I threw that in. But you know what I mean? That could be like a feature. Dr. Disrespect, he's got his thing, hasn't he? He's, wears the sunglasses and the hat. It's a wig. But underneath he's got hair. So, who'd have thunk it? He wears the wig with the hair underneath and the glasses. And he's Dr. Disrespect. I think he even worked on some computer games. That's a bit of a unique selling point. I could be like the same. But I could go more with the Grave Kipper. We'd have to bin off the coloured lights. You could have to bin off the coloured lights. We'd have to go deep violet hues. Deep violet. I could go, well, goth. Depressive. Actually, I was also thinking about gothicism, and because we wrote our first piece of lounge goth. We made our first piece of lounge goth. Should actually broadcast that. We're going to play Hey Doctor in a minute. This is what they do, the streamers. They just talk a load of shit all the time. They don't even have a plan, most of them. I come here with a plan. They don't even come with a plan. They're just on, chatting. I've got to turn my computer on. It's all right for some, isn't it? Look, what I wanted to show you was on YouTube, and it's Lighthorse, isn't it? That's the name of the thing, and you won't find that if you type in Lighthorse. Oh, somebody else is called Lighthorse, and they've got loads of subscribers. That's weird, because when I started it, I definitely looked to see if anyone else was called it. Right, I can't even find my own videos again. Good old YouTube. Right. I'm not even subscribed to my own channel, that's why. We'll have to turn off this video game music as well. Web browsing. So this is Lighthorse. This is our little channel that I've decided to start web browsing. And we need to move it so you can see it. The web browser. Decided to start it on YouTube just to house sort of gothy, saddy songs, because obviously I do hip hop. On Battery Exhausted has been a a complete mishmash of all different stuff, and we have said we're going to do a separate channel for Strafe and the hip hop. We're going to do that as well. But right now, what we've got is this is the most recent new channel. It's Lighthorse. We put Search and Destroy on it. We might as well play it and listen to it. Why ever not? Just a little song I wrote, isn't it?
But there's something wrong. You've been gone so long, I only see your face in memories. Search and destroy. Living in this way, is a ticket to the grave. I only long I only see your face in memories. Search and destroy.
One, two, chuffy, chuffy, 1, 2. That should really get more than 9 views. And that shot there, that's the day after he bit me the last time. Like, you can see I'm wearing that bandage on my arm because it was all bitten and I had to go to the hospital. And that's the day that we had to take him and have him put down. That's really sad. I'm all right. I feel all right. I mean, obviously, it was sad, but that's the song and the music video. Yay! It's very, very depressing. 1, 2, check, Jeffrey. 1, 2. I hope the mic's not crackling now. I have got everything that I could possibly have, like the webcam. There's a lens in a plastic bag. There's 2 microphones. There's the wire that leads to the hard drive. There's the power plug wire. There's the wire that goes to the switch. All of that is on top of the wire that goes in the mic, so that's all going to help it to stabilize for the crackling. So this is, look, that's Search and Destroy anyway. That's Search and Destroy, and it's a nice song that I wrote and recorded with a sad music video that's appropriate, that just came together. So I put it there on Light Horse because Light Horse is the name of Light Horse is we did my dad's DNA actually. I've got the piece of paper somewhere. That's a different story. But Light Horse, my great ancestor that lived in India, Colonel Charles Thorpe Jessup, was part of the Assam Valley Light Horse Infantry, and he was also part of the Civiskar Rifles, and they were like a mounted regiment in India. And the Light Horse, that's the badge, that picture there, the picture, the avatar picture that's next to it is the badge for the Light Horse Infantry that he was the commander of. So that's why I chose that name. And so that's Search and Destroy. It's not a gothic, like, it's just a sad song, isn't it? Just a little sad guitar song. That's there. But then we just now comes the premiere, the world premiere of Lounge Goth. It's not fully what I want it to be yet. What it is this Lounge Goth. What we discussed the other day was about DJ Screw slowing down the music. They used to rap on the tracks. They used to get together, have the decks. I'm pointing over there at a table because I would put my decks on a table were they down here. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I should just put the decks there and just go and see what happens with that. Look, they'd sit around, they play the decks, they'd rap on the mics, and then they'd take it on a tape and then slow the tape down by about like 20%, and then that would be the final product, and it's slowed down. They'd all be on the sizzle, the jizzle, the syrup. They'd be drinking they were basically taking sedatives. And smoking weed and like taking sedatives, so they slowed the music down to match, and their voices come out like that when they rap, and like it's kind of cool. So that was way back. That was happening in the like late 90s, early 2000s, I guess. DJ Screw is dead. He took too much sedatives, like he drank a bottle of the cough syrup and didn't wake up again. So like that's a story. And so we were talking about lounge goth and our mechanism of creating this new music genre, this gothic music genre, and it involving some sort of slowing down of music. So what I initially did was I took one of my guitar songs. It's not my guitar song, it's a cover song. And I slowed it down a little bit and I put the reverb on it. And we were also talking about, maybe I should have more pictures for this, but we were also talking in a different stream about how there was a breakthrough on YouTube. We talked about vaporwave, we talked about Simpson wave, and we also talked about this sort of breakthrough depressive modern music that came through that was they took songs like Ariana Grande songs and Britney songs, slowed them down and put big reverb on them, and it became its own sort of depressive music genre that took off on like a clever, nice, simple idea. I like it. That took off as well. So we're taking those ideas together, like we're talking about slowing things down and reverb as a sort of jumping off point. But we're also thinking about Gothicism, or I am, and it was not all about, right. This is what's critical, right. This is critical. So I need to get some pictures. We'll see. We'll use Google. Google's got the best pictures, hasn't it? Or should we use Ecosia? Ecosia might have good pictures as well. I'm just gonna look. What I want to do is just search goth and just see what comes up anyway. Images, because there's different, like, they're all girls, look. There's one for start jumping off point straight away. They're all good. Well, they're not. There's one boy, isn't it? But what I did my husband's goth makeup, right? So look, they when I was growing up, it wasn't all pretty looking girls in these, cyber, super duper. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. I mean, this is what the internet has made it, hasn't it? This sort of Instagram goth. But it wasn't that. People weren't that sophisticated. Like I don't. If you'd see someone that was this well dressed as a goth, it would be at an event, like a music event, like a gig or something. They'd be on their full nines, topped up with their. I'll put the music back on behind us. Topped up with their best clobber. And you wouldn't see it often. What you would more likely see, what goth really meant, like I'm just gonna like that thing. I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the thing she's made for her head. That thing, that's not. I wouldn't have seen much of that. The purples, the headdresses, none of that. That's not what I felt like and saw as a goth. The first inspiration for people of our generation was Brandon Lee Crow. Was this fella? He was in The Crow and he died in The Crow. And the film was about like morbid aspects of it was a morbid film about death and the after death and what happens to you, and you come back and you reap your revenge on a society that no longer resembles a society that we recognise. Anyway, look, that's the goth that I recognise. Yeah, that's the goth that I recognise more. And it wasn't. You didn't have to dress up much. Look, that's when I've been describing what I should do to become Gravekipper. That's it. That's just the bit of black there, black makeup there, white face, the leather coat. I couldn't wear a leather coat now. I'm vegan, but that's goth. It's not all. It's just simple, much more simple. And then I was thinking about when I first. We're gonna get on to Help Me Doctor. I'm gonna get on to Help Me Doctor in a minute. Yeah, in a minute. I'm just doing some talking. When I was young and I was first introduced to this music scene, it was in Coventry, and I had a friend, and she was called Jude, and she wasn't full goth, but nobody was really full goth. Maybe there were a few, but mainly we were young. What I'm trying to say, she introduced me to Joy Division, and at the time I didn't really get Joy Division. I didn't really get it. I was more into more modern bands. Like, they hadn't released a record for ages. That's obviously because Ian Curtis was dead. But now I kind of more understand it. This Coventry. I can't explain any more than that, I don't think. But at 15 and 16, a concrete city, and Joy Division, and I mean, even the album cover, it's black, isn't it? And I don't know. A lot of the photographs here are black and white, aren't they? Look. They weren't that old that the photographs had to be black and white. They were just photographed in black and white a lot. Presented in this sort of... what am I trying to talk about here? Presented in this grey scale, because the music that they made, the things they talked about, the lives they lived, were of this, drudge, dull... It's interesting, UB40 came out of a recession, and their music's not like this. But they are named after UB40 are named after the form that you had to fill in to collect your doll. Joy Division, the same thing. None of them had jobs because there was a economic underprivileged, aspect of their lifestyles, of their lives, growing up in Manchester at the time. 80s, was it 80s to 90? I don't know if it is to 90s. I don't know if Ian Curtis made it to the 90s. I think he died in 81 or 82. He committed suicide, and he lived all his life depressed. And interestingly, I can't. I'm not doing a full documentary about Ian Curtis now, but this is important that when I'm talking about this goth thing, is that Ian Curtis, like, how can I explain this? He was in a band, yeah. They got together as in a band to make music, to sort of make something better out of their lives, to make their lives better, to improve in some way, you know, their lot. And it took off for them, and they were picked up, so to speak, by the, you know, music scene, by the vibe. They broke television. They had a, you know, TV gig on TV, and it started to take off for them, you know, in the British music scene. I think John Peel played their records, and that's one of that would have probably been like the most amazing, wonderful thing to happen to somebody who, you know, plays and performs music, wouldn't it? And then they got this like record deal. They made the first record, and then the second record was coming out, and they were going to go on an American tour. And Ian Curtis at that point decided to kill himself. He had other problems in his personal life. He was in love, like before the band, he was in love and had a wife and a child. And then when this band thing started to take off, and, you know, he was going around doing the band stuff, he met another journalist, a French lady, and he essentially had an affair. His marriage broke down. He had an affair, or he had a new girlfriend or whatever, and he didn't like the way that ended and settled. I think he'd have preferred, rather than have all the music going off and this journalists and this, you know, I think he'd have preferred not to have that and to have just the family. And by the end of it, it was too late. He'd gone down the one path. He also had epilepsy and had epileptic seizures. He used to work in the he used to work in the social services, in the he used to help people who were disabled get their benefits and work the system to the, you know, so that they could get their benefits and stuff. He used to deal with people who, you know, had problems and help them. And he knew someone who had epilepsy and died, I think. So anyway, that's his story. And it ended because he killed himself on the brink of international stardom. Yeah, so that's goth. New order of goth. Like, their music isn't described as goth, really. Like, goth has become New Order, Joy Division. New Order were the bands that Joy Division became after they went on without their, you know. Anyway, look. So when I say goth, right, we're looking at people who are dressed up like this, but that's not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling more sort of. I wonder if I can put like Coventry 80s goth. They're punks. There's a sort of punk crossover, isn't there? There's a punk crossover, yeah. But I'm just thinking more like grey jeans, a black t-shirt with a band logo printed on it, less elaborate makeup, and you know, certainly the ladies have more range in their, you know, their clothing, don't they, in certain aspects, but less, you know, dressing up more. This might be, there's an image that I would associate more with what I'm talking about. Look, more sort of just, I mean, they're more punky, aren't they, but dressed down in a way, but like, because that's how I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Yeah. So with that in mind, what I'm trying for, what I'm aiming at, is something that's less, going back to what we're doing, the premiere of I've Been Crying, the first lounge goth song. I'm trying for something that's, sorry, what have I done? All right, bin that off. I'm trying for something that is more Concrete City, like reflection of depression, rather than dressing up as Harley Quinn. Do you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with that. Let me just check you can still hear me. 1, 2, check, Chuffy. That's where I'm at. Yeah, okay. So what we've done, I'll explain it a little more. This is the director's cut after all. We'll play Help Me Doctor in a minute. Like, this is where my brain goes, okay? This is what I've been thinking about. What I need and what I don't have on this is a beat. Because lounge goth, like we were describing, is the sort of goth music that you could sit in the foyer of We want it to be the sort of music like empathizing with vaporwave and Simpson wave, where you could sit in the foyer of a hotel or something, and like it be on in the background. Like, so I think it needs a sort of cheap 80s-esque beat, a sort of early New Order beat maybe involved. But I also don't want it to have a beat, because goth music and depression is not about dancing and beat. It's about like something else, isn't it? So I don't know where I sit with that. This doesn't have a beat, and I'll tell you for why. It's because I made it by recording the guitar song. I didn't have any equipment. I didn't have a metronome and playing to, so it's not to BPM. I can't then lay a beat over the top because it'll be in and out. So there's that. The beat's gone. The other thing I did was I overlaid it with the reverb, and I slowed it down a little bit, and I still didn't get the sound I wanted. I still didn't get what I wanted. I played the guitar differently. So instead of just playing the whole song on the guitar, ching a ching 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 a ching, I'm playing a song on the guitar, I just played like one dring and sing the bit about the song and the verse, and dring and sit the song and sing the song about the dring. Just play one chord instead of the whole drum C C C C C D D D D D G G G. Instead of all the notes, I just played the one, and then that still didn't sound right. So what I did then was I reversed it, and then we started to get somewhere. So this is theoretically, it's approaching where we need to be. It's not the full product yet. I need to find a way of working that beat in, dragging it out a little more. I need to, we're going somewhere though. This is I've Been Crying, a lounge goth song. This is it. Okay, I've described it. This has got 40 views though. I don't know how. More views than anything else I've done all year, apart from the mirtazapene video. So here we go. Look, it seems like mirtazapene. And also I put a video, didn't I? I made a video, director's cut, isn't it? Director's cut. I made a video. Yeah, I made a video. Yeah, I got some Creative Commons freebie picture of a church and cut out the middle bit badly and put in some more footage from dog walks. That's about as much as I did. Okay, this is I've Been Crying, a lounge goth song. Okay, are you ready? I'll be quiet and you can listen to this. We can listen to this. It's only 1 minute 50. So it's only 1 minute 50. Let's see what you think. One, two, chuffy, 1, 2. So there you go. That's the. Well, cancel. I don't want to autoplay. Cancel. No, stop. I don't watch that. No, it thinks I'm watching things. Chuff off. No, I'm doing this. What's happened? Right. So that's one of the things I did notice that I forgot that I did is I also left the ambient sounds from some of these video clips in, which was fine. Which is actually fine because a bit of ambient sound in your lounge goth atmosphere is fine, actually, isn't it? A bit of atmosphere. Maybe I don't need beat. Maybe I need atmosphere. I don't know. What happened as well is that the song goes ooh, ooh, ooh. It goes from high to low, But because I reversed it, it goes ooh, and it has this sort of haunting quality from the ambience of the reverb. And I'm actually happy with that. And it like hits those, and what you hear is that one note on the guitar underneath, just really softly played at the same time as it seems to peak. So it's kind of like going from like it's going from deep to light in these like little peaks, these little like blossomings. And I think I helped it by putting those church pillars, because it does have that sort of choral, churchy sort of churchy vibe to it. And you can also tell that it's a British voice. I think you can tell that it's a British voice, my voice. So I think it kind of works for a lot of those reasons. That's lounge goth. I've invented it, I've created it, and it now exists. I've got more songs, but I haven't got... I've got more songs that I worked on and I've been looking at, but they're not like that. So, why do I want to autoplay? Why do I want to autoplay? You chuffer. Why isn't this playing now? This can play now. Yeah. Oh, that's smelly. My dog's done a right smelly farty. Brilliant. Oh, dog. So what am I looking at here? Look, this is... Can't get my head around all these buttons on the telly. This is the Light Horse. That's our new project. Lounge goth and sad songs. If my songs are sad songs, I'll premiere them there. But if they're not, if they're other sort of songs, and I'm going to try and create a bit more lounge goth as well. I've been learning to use Logic, so we can do a stream when we open up the Logic and we work together on the music, maybe. I've been learning to use it like I use the other programs, so I think it kind of works. That's lounge goth. Go there and watch Light Horse and subscribe and listen to that song. It's a song. It's a song, honestly. It's a song. I mean, and like a bit of what we're listening to. Okay, this is a good example. What we're listening to now, if I could turn that somewhere, getting what we're listening to now, that sort of like, what is that? Don't know what it is. That though, that sort of thing, crossed with what that I've Been Crying sounds like. If we can get something that has these elements together, that doesn't sound too cheerful, but has this sort of tinkly, pinkly, lounge, ambient, lobby goth. Remember, it was lobby goth as well, wasn't it? Lobby goth, elevator music, vaporwave-esque. If we can get some more of that into it, then I'm really happy with the way it sounds. In order to do that, I need to record a song to a time signature, otherwise it'll go in and out of time signature when I try and layer it up. So that's where we're at with that. Do you want to play Doctor? Time to play Doctor now, yeah? Time to play Doctor. So it's got its own sound, but I hate the sound of the Doctor game already. I'm one of these where I don't like the sound of the games. I prefer to listen to our own music, but I don't want to listen to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and spoil the stream. So instead, what we're doing is we listen to relaxing game music from other games. So it's a bit mad, isn't it? Bit off the cuff, listening to a game music from a different game while you're playing this game. What? Dr. Gravekipper, look. I'm trying to put my name. Dr. Gravekipper. Dr. Gravekipper to you. There's me with my... Don't know what's happened to my hair there. One little tuft on the front. Some leaflets. Am I the receptionist? Leaflets on my desk. Receptionist. When I go to the doctor, they don't have this sort of desk system. The desk's just up against the wall and the room is used like you sit next to the doctor, almost like up to their desk with them, and then like the room is used for you to walk around and touch your toes and sit on the bed. Time's going quickly, isn't it? At the top there, the time's going quickly. That's my life ticking away. Right, start. Let's start this. Help Me Doctor. We're not listening to the sound from Help Me Doctor. They can get stuffed. This is cheap. It's on sale on the Nintendo Switch right now. It's on sale. There's no way I would buy this if it wasn't on sale. Bear that in mind. So, you're the one who wants to run his own clinic. Let's see now. Doctor's degree taxes paid. Like, you think this might be a bit like, you know, Sim Doctor or Like, you know, it's not. It's one of these cheap. It's like Bus Driver Simulator. It's one of these cheap games. Don't know what's going here. Look, don't know what's happening. I can have a look. Oh, look, I can go to the patient area. Fire insurance, public services tax. That's good. Okay. The paperwork seems to be in order. I guess we'll have to give you a chance. Who's he talking to? Who's talking? And what is it that's happening? Right, now I'm in the game. No, that's it. No, oh, look, there's somebody here. There's somebody here. What's wrong with them? Oh, are they going to come in? No, okay. Surely I've got some sort of intercom with my... I must have an intercom. Hang on, press start. Medical records. Oh, look, I can take the music off. Right, okay. Let's turn the music off. And then let's have the game sound up a bit then. In case there's any important sounds that I'm missing. Is that it? That's all there is in the start menu? Okay. I want to talk to the receptionist and say, you know, vet them first. And tell, all right, hang on, wait. Start menu, pause. I want to tell the receptionist, you've got to vet these people before they come in. You don't just send them next patient. I want to know on my computer what the next patient... Because I need to have their records up and stuff. Can't just have them walking in. All right, let's have them just walking in. Sound there of him saying next patient, please. Oh, God, look at all this. There's so much... Wait. There's so much going on the screen all at once. Help me, doctor. My conditions are persistent in-mind counting. Persistent pimples appear if I'm going outside. Persistent mind counting is one of magnetic. Hang on. Persistent people... seeing other people in just lingerie. Is it lying uncontrollably? It's celebrity disease, yeah? Okay, I'm going to say it's celebrity disease. What else can I do? You got your ID card. I've got to check that, have I? I'm signing that. I don't know what that means. I'm printing that out because that's definitely you. That's you. You've got celebrity disease. Zilla and Zura. Emergency B. I pressed B. He's out. I did a good job. There's people waiting. There's all people waiting, look. I need to pay no dollars. Don't I get some money? I just did that patient. I got nothing for it. It's all just happening. It's all just been thrown at you. My conditions are persistent in mind counting, non-stop comic reading. What? It's algebra's revenge. I'm sure of it. Counting payment tiles while walking. Yeah, it's that. Put disease diagnosis and insurance in this box. Your insurance, Margot Turner. I'm not reading all those letters and numbers. There's that. Hang on. B now is the insurance document. Okay, I pressed B and it went away again. I don't have any control over that. You sent them away with correct documentation. I need to pay $200. I need to pay $200. I sent them away. I'm not trying to send them away. I've been doing it. Look, what do you think I'm trying to do here?
Next patient, please.
Next patient, please. I'm glad you put a voice in for that. I mean, I don't have time even to do my usual chuff. Usually, I'm getting a good old chat about all the stuff going on. Look, there's loads of stuff going on in this waiting room that I can't have time to look at. Look, there's a telly there in the background. They've actually put a little telly. Hang on. What? Go on to this screen again. And she's got a face. Tell you what, if you come to the doctor with that, whatever's going on with you, attracting metal objects, it's the magnet one. There's that. I'm going to do the insurance, look. Just going to sign it over. I don't care who you are. Sign that over. Now, how do I get that on there then? How do I not send them away? Am I missing something? Hang on, let me move my face. No, I'm not missing anything there. this song now? You chuffing nut. It's not this. It's not that. It's this game music. We've talked about this, you. I can't even go in the pause menu now. Right. That's off. That's back on. It's much more like it. Much more relaxing. Calm yourself. Calm yourself, look. I bet the waiting room's filling up while I'm doing this. So yeah, I've got that. Look, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to send them away and press B emergency. I'm not doing that. Let's move chat. Let's move chat and see if there's anything I can achieve by doing that. Discrepancy. All right, look. Alert. Discrepancy. Zilla and Zura. She went out. So, I don't know if that was good or not. We'll have another patient, shall we? Our waiting room is filling up. See how bad this game is? See how bad it is? Shall I do a review right now? It's terrible. Don't waste your money. Not even the money that it seems cheap on sale. My conditions are non-stop comic. It's not even that good for stream. I mean, she looks chuffing dead. Your face is green. Non-stop comic reading. Washing all the time. Counting pavement tiles. Let's have a look. Can we find that on our... I suppose this might be alright for a child. Probably not. Lingerie is one of the options there. Shooting lasers from eyes. Probably not for a child, is it? Non-stop comic reading. Washing all the time. Counting pavement. Yeah, that's Algebra's Revenge. You've got Algebra's Revenge. Success. Discrepancy. What's the... Oh, I've got to read that card thing there. Look. Where can you chat go? Go over here. Look, that's nice. Michelle Watkins. BJJ86. But yeah, that's the same, isn't it? It expires. I don't care. I don't know what the date of birth is. X. Signed it. Popped it in the thing. Still saying discrepancy there. So what's B? B is discrepancy. If I do Zedler and Zero, it's like a tick. Look, she's turned a tick and she's gone. But it hasn't given me any information about that. It hasn't said well done or whatever. My money's gone up, has it too? Look, the son of the minister's just arrived at your clinic. He needs a doctor. His insurance is not valid. If you accept it, you risk receiving fines. Why did they put this script in this italic like that, harder to read? However, not accepting it is a risk the wrath of the minister. Sod the minister. I mean, he's poorly though. He doesn't have insurance. I don't know what the system is insurance, whether the minister can get him out of it. Chuff him. Oh, I get a penalty. Brilliant. Now the minister's going to diligently watch my actions. That's me chuffed. It's all we're losing money hand over fist. Let's have our next patient. Let's get you in. Let's diagnose you and get you gone. Help me, doctor. My conditions are... This must be how the doctors feel immediately. I'm like, just, get you in and get you gone. Your conditions... Oh, not another moaning Minnie, look, with the sad face. Look at her, skull face, sad face. It's perfect for Grave Kipper, that is, that skull face, sad face. We like that, actually. That's all right. We'll just tick your insurance there. I'm not even going to check it. Your conditions are persistent mind counting, seeing other people, pimples... it's this one, celebrity disease. Well done, get out. $50 I've got. Is it going to go up? Is my $50 going to go up? $100. Yes, it went up. The day came to an end. We made $150 and we cost ourselves $200, so we've lost $50. Don't know why we're working in dollars. There's still people coming in. Still, above my head here, who's that chopper? You're not getting served. We're closed. What are you doing sitting down? Don't send them to sit them down. We're closed. Nurse. Nurse. Is she a nurse? She's not a nurse. She just works at reception. You chuffer. There is no nurse. Why are we No, you're a nurse. I'm on my own. In the doctors, there's no nurse. Probably can't afford one. $50 a day. Doctors are supposed to get paid well, aren't they? I'm out of business. Look what's happened to my body. Why is my body all shaped like that? Going out of business there. And that's the end of the game. So I do like an indie game that's nice and short. Where's my big face? I do like an indie game that's nice and short, don't I? I like a nice short indie game that you can play in one sitting. Obviously, most simulator games, you don't go out of business after your first run, do you? They give you the little tutorial and they get you, why not build one of these? Have you tried saying this to this person? And then what happens is, at the end of your little run, you've got like your first wage packet in and you're like, oh, no, this game works now. Grave Keeper did that to me. Graveyard Keeper, but this didn't. I prefer this. Learn the hard way. Learn the hard way. It's a simple system after all, isn't it? It's a simple system. When I say things twice... Oh, I hit the mic. Oh, did that make it crackle? I hope not. When I say things twice... Oh, I hit the mic. I don't know if you noticed. Sometimes... I just did it then. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed. When I say things twice. That's because in normal conversation, you just think up something, you say it, and then you're thinking of the next thing, you say that. But when you're editing, one of the tips for YouTube, this is just a top YouTube tip for you YouTubers out there, top YouTube editing tip, is repetition. It's not just YouTube tip, this is all sorts of editing, any kind of editing you're doing. Unless it's deliberate. Unless you're saying, look, for this advert, we're going to repeatedly stress this point. Or whatever. Unless it's that. If you're just doing it by mistake, repetition's a bad thing. You've said the information, now move on. Like, you don't want to constantly repeating yourself. People who are listening, they get bored and they say, "Oh, he's just repeating." I don't notice this is why I'm getting bored. I didn't clock that, but it turns out I'm bored. He's just repeating himself. So you don't do that, and it makes my edits more difficult when I repeat myself. But this is the game review. I'm doing it now. The game's awful, but you learn hard. And that's good, in a way. That's good. No hand-holding. It's a very simple concept. There's only 4 buttons, for Christ's sake. You've got to line up the patients with the correct ailments. Then you've got to sign their documentation, their insurance documentation, providing it's correct, of course. And actually, do you know what? I'll have to show you this other game now in a minute. Just for the edit. I'll have to show you... not tonight. I probably haven't even got it on my system anymore. There's other games where you have to check people's papers. Famously, Papers, Please. That was a groundbreaking indie game. It's only a little simple thing. Groundbreaking indie game, mate. I've repeated myself again. Groundbreaking indie game. I said it 3 times this time. What do you call that? Still repeating yourself, isn't it? There's not a special word for repeating yourself 3 times. If you say something once, you've said it. If you say it twice, you've said it twice. You could say it thrice. But really, people just say you're repeating yourself. They don't qualify or quantify how many times you do repeat yourself by saying you repeat yourself. They just say that I've already done it now, I've done it again. I'm repeating myself again. So, in other games where you have to check the papers, they make a thing of it. That's the thing, you're checking the things. And you do it for a bit, and you're like, oh, this is quite an interesting concept for a game. You can go through, I let you through, you can't go, you feel a bit powerful, ooh. But then after a little bit, the speed increases. Hang on, I'm just checking things quickly. It's like I work in the bank. It's like I work in the office, doing the admin. I'm checking all the numbers. I don't like it. My brain. What Doctor Help Me Doctor has done is give you just enough to check to make it like a checking thing. But not enough. So it becomes like a core... not enough, so it becomes a sort of core... gameplay mechanic. It's just a little thing that happens in the corner. Check that. It's just a little thing. They could have made more. Well, they don't care, do they? They don't care. They don't care. It's only $1 on sale. It only costs $1 on sale. Or $1.50. I don't know what it's like in America. I said dollars, but I live in England, so I just made that up. I bought it in pounds. I'll have you know. British pounds sterling. worth their weight in plastic polymer banknote. Anyway, look, that's the way things are going. Your banknotes soon won't be worth the plastic polymer they're not printed on. So look, the Doctor game, it made me learn hard. I'm alright with that. I'm fine with that. You know, I'm alright with that. I'm fine with that. I can accept that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Don't worry. I'm fine. I can deal with that. I can deal with it. It's fine. It made me learn hard. Oh. And it's only a real simple thing. What I was going to say is, I think this game should be designed for children. It could have a little more. It's got quite a lot of comedy in its, because it's so rough. The aesthetic, because it's so rough, it actually is kind of comedic. So you can play on that for kids, can't you? You know, kids don't need well-crafted games, do they? Not like Nintendo games. Kids will make do with any old shit. No, that's not true. They want to play Minecraft. They don't want to play rubbishy Help Me Doctor. But younger kids who don't know the difference, and you sit them in front, you know, learning tool games, that sort of thing. Help Me Doctor could actually be that sort of game, couldn't it? Do away with the money financial going bust thing a little bit. Make it a bit easier. And have it more about... And also, you've got to bin off the sexually suggestive comedic ailments. You've got to make the ailments a bit more like, you know, Blue Duck Syndrome. Or, do you know what, actually? You could really... Hello, capital K. Hello, capital K. I've missed you for the last 20 days. I hope you're all right. And I hope you're all right as well, Nigel, actually. Thinking shouldn't have said that just about capital K, not Nigel. That was mean of me. I missed you all, I meant, but you know, it just popped into my head that time then because I started to cheer up. Right, started to warm up. Look, Help Me Doctor could be that game, couldn't it? If like, and what they could do that would be really like this is Scotty Hotties now. I should call this, when I do the edit, I should call this something like you're a consultant, aren't you? I could be a consultant. We discussed this before, didn't we, about your job or something? I think you're a consultant. I don't really know. I could be a video games consultant. Look, and here's my consultancy, Doctor Consultancy. That's where the words popped into my head from, isn't it? The Doctor as well. I could be like, say, look. So anyway, I'm doing it now. Right, I'm doing it now. The consultation is that I used to give out free consultations as a hairdresser. Now I'm giving them out free as a video game consultant. Look, the thing is, make the ailments things that children might recognise a bit, but sanitise them for children a bit. So, for example, right, COVID could be, I mean, they'd know enough about COVID by now, I imagine, but you could call it like, you know, koala COVID or COVID koala. The animals could have the ailments, couldn't they? Or maybe, and it'd be like, you know, not like you're going to die. Not like you're going to die, that's bad, but just like, you know, one could give you some spots and one could make you a cough. And you'd have little germs, and your response to that could be, oh, here's the appropriate treatment, something simple that kids can get the idea of, like a medicine. Kids get used to the idea that the doctor's good, medicine's good for you, little ailments that they themselves might suffer from. And I thought about this, the blue duck then, like you could have the bluebird of depression, couldn't you? You could actually put depression in it. You could have like blue ducks, I'm feeling sad, you know, and like need to talk about it with people. Like, you know, you could put these things in it to help children say, look, actually I recognise these feelings in myself or these ailments. I'm ready to speak up and say, oh, I've got a bad hurty tummy or a, you know, thing. Do you know what I mean? Help me, doctor. Let's have the medicine. That medicine's good. I'm bold. Give me a haircut. What I used to do, a quick deviation. People who was my hair coming out as well. Everyone's hair come out. People whose hair, it's the 5G. It's the 5G. That's my. I'm joking. But imagine if it was. What I think is that people still need their hair done, even if it's, you know, thinning. But I wouldn't. Some people would sell them a certain magic shampoo or a treatment thing and what have you. And I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I can cut your hair nice, or what's left I can, you know, do whatever. But really, you know, if you're happy like shaving it off yourself, then fine. Just come in for a cup of coffee. I'm not going to charge you to shave your head. You know, I'll just shave the back bit so it's neat and tidy, whatever. It's, you know, that's a free one. And just come in for a cup of coffee and have the back of your head shaved. You know, That's fine. Whatever you want to do with it is cool. And I wouldn't be into sort of being like, oh, you have to like style it like this way to cover that or to hide this. I would encourage people to feel good about themselves, even because it's something they're going to feel maybe bad about, and they're going to be like, oh, my hair's like thinning, or I'm going bald here, what, you know. And I'd be like, well, like, don't worry too much. It's kind of natural. Happens to some people, you know. Shave where it's with one blade. What, like the cutthroat razor, I can use it to cut long hair, but I'm not necessarily going to... I shave my own face. I don't, because I cut myself. So I didn't used to offer it to clients because I couldn't even do it on my own face. So yeah, I'm not a virtuoso with the cutthroat razor. But if you want your head shaved with the head shaver, like the machine, and, you know, a bit of a dust and a tidy up around the ears, then I'll do that for free. But what I won't do is make you feel bad about what's happening naturally in order to sell you a shampoo. That's the other end of the scale. That's where I wasn't going to go with it. So I didn't have any answers. I could have gone on like some sort of special course and learned about it more, and, you know, I'd come up with some answers. I hear hair transplants really work these days. I hear they've come into their own. So in 50 years' time, I imagine they'll be better. But, you know, we won't be around to see it. I don't know. Just be yourself. That's my main story with that. Feel good about yourself because it's natural. And as a hairdresser, it's not my place to be like, oh, you know, cover it over with this or change it with that. That's my feeling on that. That's my feeling on that. But if you're the why can't I find the Super Nintendo Switch? Lost it again. There it is. If you're the doctor here, I'm going to actually say maybe shave that off as well. Now, if it's going like that, where it starts to look a bit strange, at a midway point, I'd probably just start shaving it off there, just sort of embracing it, sort of saying, look, this is the new me, let's go. You know, a bit of a rugged, tough look. I've shaved my head a number of times over the course of my life, and it's usually been as part of a sort of psychological rebirthing process. What I mean is, I've been having a breakdown and I shaved it. And then I'm like, brand new me, right, let's go again. Like, no, when I was younger, I had like more aggressive haircuts. I had like Mohicans and stuff like that. And there was one time that I got a head lice, and it was the weekend, and the shops were closed, and you couldn't just go in. Like, I lived in a little village. Couldn't just go into the super mall and get a head lice treatment. It was live with head lice for like 3 days. It was the weekend, like the shops. It was like live with head lice until the next day when you can go in the shops. Or my other option was just get rid of them. So I shaved it, like you said, with the blade. I shaved it with a razor blade, like with my face shaver, and I cut all my head loads of times. But there were no head lice on me because I didn't have any. I think I did my eyebrows as well. That happened. So if you want a consultant, you know, he's got the top tips. So Help Me Doctor really could be that game, couldn't it? It really could be that game. It could be, oh look, question mark, book. I'm back to, okay, so what's question mark, what's book? They're the different, okay, these are the different syndromes. So you could have like, you know, love syndrome. That's an interesting concept that kids could talk about, you know, being in love, feeling lovesick. Celebrity disease, I'm not so... Cause taking too much interest in celebrities' life. Occurrence, mostly women without a life of their own. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Treatment, patient should get a life, learn to code or something. I mean, that's the sort of cheeky thing that, you know. So maybe this is aimed at more young adults, comedy-wise. But I think actually you'd be in the money rather than, you know, pushed aside if you did something, because I don't think this game has enough. I mean, if you're watching this and you coded this game, I'm sorry, but I don't think it has enough comedic value for, you know, someone like me, someone like me, big face, someone like me. Couldn't you just put mud in your hair because life's like, yeah, you know, there was that. I heard, and bear this in mind, I heard this from a hairdresser, yeah. A goddamn hair. Well, she wasn't at the time, but she got qualified alongside me, and anyway, she probably still is, and I'm not. So who's winning now? She said that she put a load of conditioner on her hair and combed them out with the Nick comb, and I was like, that's the worst. I can't believe you're saying that in a hair salon, because, like, you know, you probably gave me the head lice, you chuffer. Like, you don't just put them in Nick comb and, like, you know, no, like, the eggs will be left behind, and then they just you have another outbreak. No, and you can't just convince them to go elsewhere. Once they're, they're on, they're making my head itch now. It's making my head itch just talking about it. Let's not talk about it anymore. It's horrible. It's horrible. Rubber teeth, yeah, that's much better. So, Super Nintendo Switch. These things. It's not comedic enough, I don't think, for someone like me. I need to go back here so I can go. Someone like me, a streamer. But I don't think it's enough for us to get enough like comedic value out of it in the long term. Not even so much in the short term. Maybe it's my attitude and my feeling, because Bus Driver Simulator was certainly a lot more funny. But that was because it was worse. It was because the people were wobbly and it was so bad. This is less funny for that reason. Slightly better made, and for that reason less funny. And I think if you aimed it more at children, you had those symptoms and these things being, like I said, like, measles, like, or similarity things with common childhood ailments that could help children to understand these concepts and then talk it through with the doctor, be pleased about their medicine. You get to play the doctor. What's that question mark? Main menu. What? Here you can get information. Oh, this is the tutorial, look. You put to the test carried out by the Ministry of Health. I got a bit of 1984 in that. The test will last 8 days. Press A button to call the next patient. Work time. Money earned. I didn't last the 8 days. Didn't even last 1 day. This is a bit confusing all at once. So I would put a tutorial for the children, and I'd just have one thing at a time. And then level 2, you'd introduce the next aspect at the same time. So you build up the complexity based on how well the child's handling it. No, this is I'm just looking through the tutorial exists under this question mark, and it exists as a slideshow. So there is no tutorial, it just throws you into the game. But this is the tutorial. After the game, you can find it on the main screen. You can change information. Yeah, I found that out myself. You select the disease. You move the printed medical record by pressing it again, yeah. The ID card, check the... See, that for children, make it slightly less complicated. Have it a cat, and does it match the cat face on the... make it slightly... But again, it's a match thing that children could handle. Might be fun for children. Sign insurance, move it into the records. If all the information's correct and you move the documents into the record, you can send them away by pressing those two at the same time, which I didn't... For the first few, I pressed B. If you notice a discrepancy, send them home by pressing B. It's a really simple setup, isn't it? So it's facile enough that children... Not in a mean way, in a good way. Let's play it once more. I don't feel like playing it anymore. Nice smelling farts sound lovely. You can keep some of that sort of stuff in for the kids. You can keep some of that sort of stuff in. Farties and stuff. Keep some of that stuff. Oh God, it's happening. It's now. I'm on. Shh. Already going back to that, removing all swear words out of my vocabulary deliberately in case children... Shh. There's no children here. I just think this game might be more good for children, so I What's happening? Yeah, it's the first person. I don't know why they go through this reception. That needs to be tightened up as well. Even if it just has something above their head that's, once you've been through reception, it's got a little thing that says, or if you get it in your, on the window there, it needs to have something that says, complaint or like reason for coming or whatever. And I suppose the children or the animals should be brought with their mummies and daddies and mummies and parents of non-specific look, my conditions are uncontrollable laughter. All right, calm down, calm yourself. I'm gonna find that on my list. There's that. It's love syndrome. You can't stop talking. It's not love syndrome. It's this one, optimist. Nice smelling farts. Yeah, okay, print you out. I'm not going to check the card because it's too much numbers and information. That's just going in. Zidlo. Go. I think we win. Look how busy the reception is already. You did not notice a discrepancy. I need to pay $100. So there's a problem, isn't there? Because if I did notice it, then I wouldn't have got any money for that customer. So my task is time-based, But some of these people are going to waste my time, and I can't control that. That needs to be controlled at the reception end. Doesn't it? Let them through or don't at the reception end. You know, maybe this could be a co-op game where the receptionist decides, or, you know, one player, you switch between the two and you have a little bit more time maybe. But the receptionist should be the one deciding, is there a discrepancy on your insurance? Can you come in or not? Yes. And then if you can, then you get in. Because I don't want to have to decide that at this end after having diagnosed them. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a waste of my time. I haven't got that time. I need to get customers through. I mean, poorly people. So I'm already calling them customers. Romina Brown, that will do. That would have been the discrepancies. I probably didn't get that right. Or maybe I got this wrong. My conditions. Lying unconsciously. And it would be good to have some of these really clearly, not, you know, if you've got one of these things, that's it, it's definitely that. But obviously some of the symptoms should overlap, shouldn't they, to make it a bit... Persistent pimples. Yeah, it's that. Right, let's have the money then. No discrepancy. Let's prove that I can play it like an adult. Next patient. It doesn't tell you anything when that I assume is good. That it didn't tell me anything. It's probably good. Here comes the next patient. And we're quite far away. Oh no, we get this view, don't we, all of a sudden. I was going to say we should be able to zoom in and zoom up. Maybe when you go into the room it zooms instead of just pans, but that's a bit more... You know, if you can't be asked to code that in, don't worry. Francesco Chapman. Yep, you're all right. See, now I'm doing that. I've diagnosed you celebrity disease because I pressed the wrong buttons. So you can have that, and you're going to go as a discrepancy because I think I got it wrong. Guy in the grey slacks is daddy. Look at them. They're sad in the waiting room, aren't they? They're poorly. Oh, I sent them away with correct documentation. I need to pay again. I'm not sure about that system of payment. You know, I'm not sure about having a system of. All right, I could see that coming. It was just somebody delivering something through the letterbox. You're all right, but you're not moving because the cat's there. Oh God! Right, let's see if I can show you this. It's going to make the mic crackle because I'm moving wires. I tapped the microphone literally then. Let's see if I can show you this. Let's see if I can get a bit of this on. See that? That's down by the side of me there. That's the cat and the dog. See that? So he's stretching his foot out there, the dog. The cat's moved. Doing a little commentary there for you. The cat's moved. The dog won't get up because he's scared of the cat. The cat here has got him locked in. I don't know if you realise this, but the cat is the one that's bossing the dog. So he's looking at him. Omar, can you stop looking at him? The dog here is scared. He won't move, he's scared. He wouldn't even get up to bark at the front door when the letterbox went, because the cat has got him locked in. It's got him locked in there. Omar, can you come in or go out? Don't just sit in front of the dog. Look at him, he don't care, does he? He's a big boss, Omar. He's the big boss. Keep that pointing at you. Right, now switch it off. Right, good. That's Omar the cat being the big boss. What are you doing, Omar? Come in or go out. Don't just... All right. Super Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I think this game, you know, it's not for us. I can't even, maybe it's my feelings of today, but I can't even spin jokes. I mean, I should be able to spin jokes out of their appearance, but then I feel bad about like making jokes about people's appearance when they're poorly, but they're not real people, so maybe I should spin jokes about their appearance. I mean, that texture on the hair is different, but it's not even that that's putting, it's the, I actually think there is something in this game. I actually think it's a really simple, like, Papers, Please, Not Tonight, the Doorman Simulator. There's a lot of games, indie games that have come through that involve checking little bits of information, you know, putting your little forms together, doing your little people through. And I think that they've just missed the target on the market, maybe. Or, you know, it's on the Switch. Kids, younger kids can maybe, you know, but I wouldn't, if I was an adult, which I am, I wouldn't buy this for a child based on some of those, like, the disease things are a little bit adult sometimes. And they could be a bit more, like I said, they could be a bit better about teaching things and still have some comedy involved. So I think they just need to just remix this a little bit and you've really got a thing. So right, what are your conditions? You shoot lasers, I've seen that before. It's definitely that. I'm doing that and your card at the same time because we need to hurry you up now. Need to get you through. I've got no idea if that's a success or not. Every patient should have a little thing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We know the answer to this now, don't we? You come in here. Come on then. Come on then, you big cat. Hang on. There you are, you big cat. Alright, you big fatty catty. Omar's settled in now. There he is. What's on your nose? You've not been snorting cocaine again, have you? Oh, he's got something on his nose. He's not been snorting the cocaine again. He looks like he's been snorting cocaine. Oh, I don't even know what it is. A bit crusty on his nose. You've not been snorting the cocaine again, have you, Omar? You don't want to get into that. It's a waste of your money, and they cut it with all loads of shit, don't they? It's got all funny powders in it. It's all cut with all shit. You can't even get the high grade. You can't get it. It comes in off the boat 70% pure, not even 100%. They won't give you the high grade, Omar. It'll blow your head off. And when it does, those people who have it, they go nuts and do bad things. So there's no winning on that stuff. End up feeling rough the next day as well, Omar. There's no winning on that stuff. Stay off that. There he is. Okay, I'm gonna need this arm, but you can stay. You can stay here. You can just. No, you're not going to be able to go on the table. I just said you're not going to be able to go on the table. Go on then. You're right there then. Your brothers, Omar and Marlo. Your brothers. So you just get on with it. Don't bully your brother. How about that? Omar, don't bully him, right? Omar, I can see you going near him. Thank you. God, I have to be like a cat bouncer. Sometimes gets in my eye. I partially read that comment out, but only partially. That's there for, for the... That's there for those that are in the know. It's still there it's going to stay there until chat rolls on. So, the day's come to an end. So we only lost $300 this time. We didn't get to fix the problem for the minister, and I knew the answer this time. So we've gone out of business again. Brutal, isn't it? It's brutal. I like the way they animated this. Look, on Pokemon you don't get animations like that. Tell you what this really reminds me of. It reminds me of Catchphrase. So now I'm going to ruin the stream. Well, I say ruin, I'm going to improve the stream in some ways. But in other ways, I'm going to ruin it. And the reason it's going to get ruined is because we're not allowed to watch Catchphrase. You're not allowed to just watch the telly on streaming. Definitely not allowed to just watch the telly, and you're definitely not allowed to watch the telly. You can watch it, but if you upload it onto YouTube after the stream, YouTube is going to be like, "What are you doing? Not what are you doing? Stop it!" Copyright. They've got a new system. They've got an up-to-date system now. It doesn't strike you anymore. I've never had a copyright strike, and I've never given a copyright strike. But now what happens, it's different, is you don't even have copyright over your work anymore because YouTube has it, and people can just clip it if they want and make little shorts. So you could turn that box off, but in the spirit of things, I've left it available. You're not allowed to watch the telly though. It'll come up and it'll say this is now owned by the people that made Catchphrase. This is now owned by the people that made Catchphrase. Well, this is sad because it shouldn't be, because it's my stream and I'm going to talk about Catchphrase a little bit. Yeah? But you know, it's going to write off. When I do this, it writes off the stream, bear in mind. I don't get any ad revenue for this now. It writes it off. But we need to talk about Catchphrase. Because the animation quality on Doctor Help Me Doctor, which was... Oh no! Have I done the thing where the camera... Am I in sync now? I bet I'm out of sync now, aren't I? You chuffer. You absolute chuffer. 1 2 chuffy 1 2 1 2 chuffy chuffy 1 2. Of course you never heard of Catchphrase. It's England. It's England, mate. Catchphrase. I have to check my settings now. When I say check settings, I look at it in the on Twitch like you're looking at it. Check my settings now. When I say check settings, I look at it in the. No, I'm still out of sync. I broke it. Right, I'm going to fix it with this method. I don't know if this is a method. It's a bad method. What have I done? Fixed it with the bad method. Which isn't fixing it, is it? It's not fixing it. It doesn't appear to be fixed. Is that fixed? I don't know, not fixing it. It doesn't appear to be. Yeah, fixed. Right, fixed. Brilliant. And we've got 8% left on the battery, I just noticed. So I've got my batteries out of order as well, so I don't know what's going to happen when that happens. So Catchphrase, the animation on, and that's what I need to do. Show you go have a look at that. You see what that's like. You can get that in your brain. Hold that in your brain. Keep that there. Keep that there. We'll come back to that. The Catchphrase. There's two things I need to talk about. Because he turned out to be a racist, Roy Walker. He's a racist, so we don't want to promote him any more than we need to. But they do this. What happens? It's a game show. Look, it's a game show. Ooh, game show. So you come on the game show, and they ask you a question based on. Just want to get one lined up there. Look, as based on a short piece of animation on the board, right? Let's have a look.
Here's another catchphrase.
Can you see that all right? It's a bit big for you, isn't it? Let's do it like that. So it's in the middle. It's not the middle, it's the side. Look, it's there. See the animation? This was the 80s. This was like quite poor, like compared to now. But back then it looked quite good. Any ideas yet? What's happening there? It's tape. All at what's happening? It's turned into a. It's.
Joe, sellotape worm.
Sellotape worm. No, Joe. No, Joe. Sellotape. Sellotape worm it's called Catchphrase. Nobody's catchphrase is sellotape. Now, nobody's catchphrase is tapeworm. But yes, it's a tapeworm. And the correct answer here is tapeworm. Now, it's words and phrases. It's not a catchphrase every time. It's not like, hi, you're with Scott. I didn't do that at the start. I forgot to today. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's not like that. It's not a catchphrase like that. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's not a catchphrase like that. It's a catchphrase like just a word or a phrase, like tapeworm. I managed to find the most grotesque of all the catchphrases that have ever been presented there. It's tapeworm.
Sellotape worm's not right.
Sellotape worm's not right, Joe. For £10. This is back in the day here. For £10, Joe, sellotape worm's not right.
A tapeworm, that's what it
is. Tapeworm, they say. And Roy Castle, tapeworm. Look, it says it at the bottom there now. You know it's right when it comes up on the screen like that. Tapeworm.
A tapeworm.
Brilliant. Well done.
You've gone into the lead here, that's what you have. It's only a fiver.
Yeah.
There you are.
Only a fiver. And then this is the bonus round. What happens is once you get one right, you can reveal a square. And you reveal them square by square until you see the final thing. And if you can get it right, you get the bonus money. Of course, you want the middle square, don't you? You want the middle square. But it's RNG.
Up to the top, 5 seconds. Here we go. £15.
What is that? £15 for your cash builder? It's only small money these days, isn't it? It's weird. Because this is an old one from 1990. Rock face. Is that face handling it in some way? I don't know what it is.
For 50, what do you think it is?
Fall off the cliff.
It's good, it's not right.
Fall off the cliff. It could have been, but it's not.
Joe, you're back in play. Here's another catchphrase.
Let's do one more.
Hazel, yes, I can take it. Go ahead.
Ebony and ivory.
Ebony and ivory's right.
Ebony and ivory, well done. They're not trying that hard because ebony's just the word ebony. So they've already given you that, haven't they? They've already given you that. That's old catchphrase. And Roy Walker, let's just find out how racist he is. Roy Walker, racist jokes. I mean, I'm going to do this, but I don't want racism on my... I don't know about these terms of service. This is the first time I've ever pushed it in this direction. But I don't want racism on the channel. But I want to give you an example as to why Roy Walker, why he's not celebrated. Like, we look back across our, do you remember the old telly with catchphrase? Oh, old Roy Walker. I'd say he had a catchphrase himself, actually, which I should point out.
It's on the edge of a... Very much. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Catchphrase. You name it, we've got it. Money, prizes, dream holidays. We've got a couple of contestants. Let's meet them.
He didn't do it. He didn't do his catchphrase there. So this
is the man with all the catchphrases, Roy Walker.
Oh, that's not it.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Catchphrase. You name it.
No, he didn't do it. What happens is when they do a catchphrase, he quite often says, "Just say what you see," because they see it and they try and say it's the game, isn't it? He quite often says, "Just say what you see," and that's his He's got his own catchphrase, "Just say what you see." That developed from years of doing this show, so we look back on it fondly. It's like one of those things, you've got your TV presenters in America that you used to have on the telly. It's that sort of thing, except it turned out to be racist because a lot of these old presenters and TV people in the UK, they used to be part of this comedians club, not a literal club. They were just, there's a lot of TV presenters and comedy people, did a bit of stand-up and that, and it turned out that some of it was quite racist. We're just going on a random now, aren't we? But even, I need to show you this other chap, and am I going to be able to remember his names? The Comedians... ITV special. So there was one, and he himself. It's this ITV did this series called The Comedians in the early 70s, and it's full of racist jokes basically. But back then, it was okay, and a lot of people just got what was the word? Cancel cultured, because of it. Quite rightly. But it's all on record because it was on the telly. So I think Roy Castle was part of that sort of vibe. And a lot like the 20th anniversary reunion. There he is, look, in the 20th anniversary reunion, alongside a lot of other people who are not that popular these days. But I don't know if I could find... I'm just going to have to put black comedian, which is a bit harsh, isn't it? But... there he is, Charlie Wiliams. I should remember his name, shouldn't I? But even...
Hey, hold on.
Even though they had black people on stage being comedians, they themselves had internalised the racist language and context of 70s Britain. So this is what sort of thing... This is Charlie Wiliams.
Walked in the buzzer. A nice fella, and he got a dog. Grand dog it was. And he sat down having a pint, so a bloke says, "There's got a grand dog there, old love." He said, "I know, it's a good one. One-man dog, do out I tell it." He said, "That's sure?" He said, "I'm certain." He said, "Well, give us a sample, what can it do?" He said, "Well, right, watch this." He says, "Sither, like that dog, you see." He did, he put 10 bob in its mouth. He said, "Up to that bar, old son, and fetch 2 packets of crisps and a pork pie." And it went up. 2 packets of crisps, pork pie, come back, change it lot. He says, "What's the rating?" He said, "Very nice." Bloke said, "I bet I can make it do what I want it to do." He said, "I can't." He said, "I'll bet they're £5." He says, "Right." Says to the dog, "Here, fetch a tin of biscuits." Dog never budged. He says, "Here, fetch a pound of steak." Never budged. So I tell you, it's a one-man dog. £5 they owes me. Little bloke said, "It corner smoking a pipe." He said, "I'll make it do what I want, mister." He says, "Can that?" He said, "I can, I'll bet they're £5." He says, "Fair enough, that never £5 out fruit." So little fella walked up, he says, "£5 on?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Put it on the table, old lad." Put £5 on the table, he covered it, he grabbed on the dog, he chucked it on fire. He said, "Get off."
Right, so that wasn't a racist joke, but in his set, and I'm not going to watch. Should we watch his whole 10-minute set and find the racist joke? There is one in there. I promise you. Like he does a couple based on this sort of comedic thing of him being black and people being racist to him, and him sort of playing along with the racism, so it's okay. Like, it was weird back then, wasn't it? So there's that. Roy Walker was on that circuit. So I don't know about Roy Walker's specific racist jokes, but this is why I don't want to. That joke wasn't racist. It was just a joke. But if we'll watch it, we'll go back to him in a minute and see if he does do, because I'm sure he does. But it's Roy Walker himself, like, presented this TV show. Bear in mind, for like, you know, he was on the comedic circuit. He presented a TV show for years. He was like a national treasure. You know, we all know his catchphrase. He's done this, and then after a little bit, they were like, "Okay, we're going to revamp the show, and you're going to get cut, and we're not having you back on, and we're going to sort of wash our hands of you, and we don't want you anywhere near us anymore. Please stay away." So I'll show you what happened to him, why, and then I'll show you the new catchphrase with the better animations, which is why we're looking at it in the first place. And then we'll look at the black comedian from the north of England with the northern accent telling racist jokes about himself in a way. Maybe. That was loud.
At home. Have you got a minute? Now, there are some very strange people about. Do you agree, ladies and gentlemen? Now, take my brother, Sherry. He sent away for his family tree. They sent him back a bunch of coconuts. Went to have his eyes tested. And the man said, put your right hand over your left eye and read the card. Sherry went. He said, no, put your right hand over your left eye. He went. The optician went into the cupboard. He brought out a cornflake packet. He cut 2 holes in it and put it over his head. He said, now read the card. Sherry started crying.
I don't know where this is going, right? I don't know where this is going, but the first one was racist, wasn't it? The first joke was racist there. I'll tell you what this is him doing. This is before the TV show airs. This is actually, I can see at the top left, this is when, what's happened, oh God, there's so much to unpack. What's happened here is that he's been cancelled off mainstream telly, right? He's done the racist jokes, in not just in the past, but in the modern world, and he's been cancelled off the mainstream telly. But they've took the show and they've put it on one of these cheaper channels like Challenge TV or something, and like, you know, these a million channels on your box channels, you know, like one of those channels, because he's still got some pull. And now he's given free rein to be racist. It's a bit like we have in the UK, there's a new news service called Great Britain News. It's a bit like the Brexit thing, you know, like, oh, you're not going to have me on the mainstream because I'm too racist. Right, well, we're going to set up our own racist media thing, and like, we're just going to do it anyway. So, you know, he's now on this other thing. And what he's doing here is he's warming up the crowd before the show, isn't he? That's what this is recorded from. So I don't know why he's, like, the first joke was, it's implied racism, because I don't know the name. I think the name is supposed to be a, you know, well, it's certainly not an English name, is it?
He says, what are you crying for? He said, I wanted a gold rim pair like me brothers.
I don't even get the joke, so I don't know why it's racist or bad, but yeah, that's what he's come to. My God. Let's just watch him being crap for a minute. Here you go, look, Challenge +1 in the top corner. Can you see that? Challenge +1. This is not the original ITV.
Say what you see, and you're about to see Mr. Catchphrase himself, Roy Walker!
It might be the original ITV, just resold to Challenge. Maybe they wanted to bin off all the back episodes as well. I don't know. And here's the thing. Here's what's weird about it now. I used to watch this with my nan. Used to enjoy it. Like, I'm getting upbeat with the music now. Like, it's. I remember in my nan's final years when she stayed with us in that last year with COVID, Catchphrase, the modernised version, which we'll look at in a minute, was on the telly, and she was getting the catchphrases. She was chiming in with them, even though she was like in her 90s. Like, Catchphrase is fun, family telly. And what's really weird is that It wasn't racist. It just wasn't good. Yeah, that's another thing. They're doing it deliberately to be racist these days, aren't they? Not to be funny. Before they thought it was funny, so they did it. But now it's like, you're telling me I can't do it because it's racist. Right, I'm going to do something really racist. Pretend it's a joke, and then what are you going to say now? Like, it's just, it has this weird, uncomfortable edge, doesn't it? Yeah, family telly. But now that I see it, because I didn't know when I was a kid that it had this sort of like symbol of tired racism presenting it, but now I understand it's not as nice. And back then, when we watched it when I was a kid, my nan wouldn't have thought of him as some racist. He just told a few edgy jokes back in the day a bit, like all the comedians. Do you know what I mean? Like most of them shook it off. And said, you know what? Back in the day, some of them didn't even tell the bad jokes. Some of them just didn't even go there because they weren't racist back then even. But some of them did, and some of them shook that off and said, you know what? There was some, pretty weak, lousy jokes told back then. I'm a bit sorry about that. Let's move on. But some of them didn't. Some of them were like angry that they should have to even apologise. Roy's in that category.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to Catchphrase. Catch the money, catch the prizes, catch the holidays. And
What? What did he say? I've never heard him say that before. Catch the money, catch the prize. Look, he's hankering after a catchphrase now. Mate, your catchphrase is say what you see. That's your catchphrase. You get on with that. You don't get to choose.
I'll never forget the holiday I was on last year. The sun, the sand, the dancing. I was dancing with this very, very young lady, and all her friends were all around. They were all clapping, and I was kipping it all this year. I said, do your friends think I'm in the groove? And she said, yes. They all think you've got one foot in it.
Do your friends think I'm in the groove? And they all said, yes, we think you've got one foot in the grave, mate, in the grave. Look at him. He's old. Who wrote that? How dare they? It's only Challenge TV, isn't it? Do you know what he's thinking now? I wonder if he is a comedian, bear in mind, yeah? So I wonder if is it only Challenge TV or is this I think this is on Challenge TV. I don't know if it is the ITV original broadcast that's been sold or whether that's his. I don't know if that joke's good enough for mainstream telly, but he is a comedian. So does he think I'm going to write the jokes? They've got this team behind them. Like, I don't want your team. I don't want you involved. I'm going to write the jokes. I'm the comedian around here. Right, which way do I need to move to be more in frame? I'm going to write the jokes. Just, put it on top of that. Don't break it. I'm going to write jokes because I'm a comedian. Hello, Marlo. Yeah, we need to go on a walk. Hey, Omar, attacking him. Thank you. Don't attack him, Omar. He's nice. He's your brother. We need to go on a walkie soon. So, I don't know if he said, I'm writing the chuffing jokes. I'm the talent. I'm doing it. Or I don't know. It might be that he gets presented with a joke and they said to him, Roy, you read that. We've had enough of your jokes. We all know what happens when we let you loose on the jokes, Roy. Roy, you read that. Read it, Roy, or you don't work here. We can always get chuffing, another washed up 80s celebrity, former celebrity to present. It's Catchphrase, it's my show. I'm the big draw. No, Roy. It's on the mainstream telly with someone else presenting your show. This is the backup. Listen, Roy, if you want to work. And look, he's angry. Look at his face. Look, he's angry. He's angry. He's had to read that crap joke. Has he done it himself, or have they forced him?
At home. Have you got a minute? Now, there are some very strange people about. Do you agree, ladies and gentlemen?
Or does he start every episode? Ladies and gentlemen, he's Irish as well, isn't he? Northern Irish. Is he Irish or Northern? I don't know. He starts every episode with a little joke. I didn't know that.
Now, take my brother, Sherry.
Oh, here we go.
He sent away for his family tree. They sent him back a bunch of coconuts.
What? See, it doesn't even make any sense. His brother, I don't know if Sherry's supposed to be an Irish name. That was actually broadcast on the telly, wasn't it? Look. You're right, Marlo. You're licking your foot. You're right.
The other night, and the host said, well, if I give you 2 chickens and a couple of chickens and a pair of chickens, how many chickens would you have? Sherry said, 7. He says, how do you make that out? He said, I've got a chicken at home. We've got a...
It's a bit of a weird joke. I think he might be writing them himself. Can't listen to any more of those. Don't think I can listen to any more of those. What I need to now show you is where Catchphrases ended up. And if none of that got us kicked off this will, look, this is modern day Catchphrase. Look, I say modern day. 3 weeks ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Look, it's continued all the way through. So you can imagine, right? It's all the way through. It's got better and better with the animations, but it's still the same concept. This is 3 weeks ago. Celebrity special. Celebrity specials are notorious for being a bit more funny, having slightly more humour about the catchphrases, make them a bit easier because the money goes to charity, but it's the same concept.
No, but I can see where you're going. That's all right. Fingers back on your buzzers. One. Here's another £100 catchphrase coming up.
Full screen now.
Just think about where they are, and there's your clue.
So there's some springs, and they're in line to the party, but one of them can't go in.
Max.
Spring in step.
Or it's not spring in his step. You're not frozen out.
But it's the sort of thing you want to shout out just something with the word spring in, don't you? Because
Keep pressing and guessing. What's happened to that one?
broken.
Think about where they are as well.
There's sails, and are they by the beach? Spring sail.
Walk along and Vicky.
Is it spring in your step?
He just said that, Vicky.
I think
Did you
Max
just say
said
that? Oh, I'm.
She don't even listen to what people are saying. Vicky's the sort of person doesn't even listen to what other people are saying.
So focused,
Well done,
I
Vic.
actually was.
Spring breakers, look, spring break. Capital K. We should get you on Catchphrase. We could win a reasonable amount of money, not a million. Not a million. We could win a reasonable amount of money.
Listening.
I was more worried what you were about to say. Okay, so what?
But they're all having a nice time here now, aren't they? Now that Roy's gone.
What happens to this spring here any second now? Watch. Look. Alex.
Spring break.
It's spring.
Boom. Boom. Now check out this response from the audience. He's only got one catchphrase right on a celebrity catchphrase. That's all he's done. Check out this response. It'll be massive.
Break.
Well, say massive. Polite applause. Probably recorded with a reduced audience because of COVID.
Okay, this is good. All right.
But that is, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about Catchphrase now. Much more up-to-date animations. And that animation, that's always what I was trying to say, is it's the whole point. All I wanted to say...
Oh, it's not spring in his step.
It's not spring in his step.
Out, so keep pressing and guessing. What's happened to that?
Keep pressing and guessing. That's a catchphrase that they now use. Keep pressing and guessing. So what's happened is the animation's got a bit better, hasn't it, over the years?
That one. Think about where they are as well.
The animation's got a bit better, but that animation, right, is... Because nowadays it's easier to do it on your computers and stuff. Oh, my animation, my face is gone. My face is gone. My face is gone. My face will just stay frozen like that for a minute while I talk. Nowadays, nowadays animation's a lot easier to do, isn't it? A lot easier to do because your big computers are a bit better. So then, but bear in mind, for Catchphrase, they've got to turf out about 50 animations per episode. For each question. There's like 1, 2, 3. There's and then there's the bonus round, and at the end there's the big money round. Got a load of catchphrases to animate, so you got to chuff them out every week. So they do that. Whereas on the Super Nintendo Switch, Doctor, look at the animation now. Now it's not so good, is it? Hey, now it's not so impressive. Doctor. Oh, my toe. That battery's the one that will work. Of course it is, it's in the machine. Now I can't get the battery out of the camera. Oh, shouldn't have put that one in. Mistaker. What a mistaker to make her. Shaking the camera like a belly dancer. Shake it like a belly dancer. How's that song going? I don't even know it well enough. Shake shaky belly dancer. That's it. Yes, Marlo. Shake it like a belly dancer. Catchphrase consultant. Come on now. Yes, we're back in the room, and we just need to. Marlo likes that song. It's because I did you won't see me doing it now because the moment has passed. But Shaky dance. He's back again. He likes it. So I'm back. It's all working. So that animation there isn't as good as Catchphrase, but nor should it be, because Catchphrase is a mainstream television show on at prime time for the punters, and this is just a small time indie game on the Super Nintendo Switch. But it's just made me think of Catchphrase because the animation, and now that's why I showed you web browser Catchphrase, and that's why this animation now has some pertinence, doesn't it? Now it makes sense why I showed it you. That's Catchphrase standard animation, but the animation in the game is somewhere between that and what I was used to when I was a kid. Yeah, and when I was a kid, comedians. That's where we've got Charlie. Where's he gone? Charlie Wiliams from. So now we're going to finish the stream by listening to Charlie Wiliams.
Hold on. This bloke, you know what, in the bush.
And I tell you what.
Dinner biscuits. Dog never budged. He says, here, fetch a pound of steak. Never budged.
Never budged.
So I told it's a one-man dog. $5 they owes me.
I
Little
don't know,
bloke
he's
said in
browsing.
corner smoking a pipe. So that make it do what I want, mister. He
Right,
says,
we heard
"Like
that joke.
He said,
Tell you what, I reckon I'm willing to make a bet. I don't know why I want to broadcast the racism. I just think it's so interesting that in order to make it as a comedian, I mean, imagine how difficult it would have been for Charlie. Charlie Williams is a special kind of person. Like the environment that he was telling these jokes in. Where's my web browser? I'm suddenly doing an analysis of comedy. The environment that Charlie Williams was telling his jokes in wouldn't have been as modern and mainstream, would it? It would have been like working men's clubs, no women. You might have got some women behind the bar, but not very many. A working man's club was literally, in the UK, you had like coal mines, for example, or steelwork factories or whatever. You know, a lot of men would work in these factories, not so many women. Sexism back then. And the working men would have like literally a club where they have beer and a stage and some comedians and, you know, the weekend. I don't go to all the pubs. You're a member of this club, so you get cheaper beer. So you're working man's club, and they're sort of synonymous with lower income areas, and they're not like a real pub in a way. I go to working men's clubs on the pool night with our local pool team that I'm friends with. There's a couple around our way, and they're a bit more like the old British Legion. It's a funny different sort of atmosphere. It's because it's like a pub is an old building with a big bar and like, you know, the oldie pub like in most places around here, because pubs have been there forever in the UK. But the working man's club is a bit more of a modern building and a bit of a cheap building as well, quite often, where you can just fit loads of people in. It's got a stage and a little bar, what have you. They do bingo there. So this guy would have had to go on the stage in these places, and it would have been full of racists, wouldn't it? Would have been full of racists. They'd have been doing the racist jokes on the stage, as like, not like tonight it's racist night, but tonight is comedy night, and people are telling jokes, and some of them are racist, because jokes are sometimes racist back then. And he decided, I'm going to be a comedian, and I'm going to get on the stage, and he would have probably got some racist heckling and stuff like that. And so I think that's why he integrated some of it into his comedy. But we'll see if he tells a racist joke on this one. Maybe he doesn't on this one. Maybe he doesn't. I think he might do.
Bodybuilder lived next door to a little fella. And he was a little man, only toddy, right toddy, you know. And it's 7 bands. And bodybuilder, he got none. Lovely wife, no bands. And he knocked on the door one day, he says, hey, yo, come here, I want the old flower.
It's not bears, it's bairns, like small children, little children. He means little children.
He says, what's the matter, cock?
What's the matter, cock?
He says, as it happened, that's got 7 bands, and they're only a skinny little runt. He said, and I'm here, a bodybuilder, I've got none. He says, well, they don't treat wife right, they can't do. He said, oh, she has everything. He said, well, I'll tell you how to do it then, old lad. He said, well, what should I do? He said, well, then, get ready to need, take her out, wine and dine her, get her a little bit, you know, 1 or 2 downers, and get her. He said, fair enough. What do I do next? He says, well, bring her back home in the car and, you know, a little song to her and all that. He said, fair enough. What do I do next? He says, then run the bath, put some lovely bath salts in. And he said, right, all right, I'll do that. He said, and what next? He said, and then get her a lovely negligee, beautiful see-through. He said, right, fair enough. Then what do I do? He says, get her laid in bed. nice and comfy and fire on. He said, fair enough, fair enough. What do I do next? He said, send for me.
I do like a comedian who laughs at his own jokes. I like that.
Hey, have a minute. No, do you know, this is true now. Because I don't cut on, you know, I'm a truthful fella. I'm not like them others, you know.
It's interesting. This has been edited for a channel called Classic Comedy, so I don't know if they've edited out like the more controversial jokes. Charlie Wiliams, racist. I can't even spell racist. See if there's a specific. Like, it was the sort of thing where he'd come on stage and he would, like, you know, immediately take on the fact that, oh, look, I look different to other people. Here's a joke about it. Now we've done that, you know, we can move on.
Ah, ta. That's lovely, me old flowers. That's grand. You're all like, hey, hold on. No, I said to tell you this. There were a bloke, you know, he got a little lad about 12-year-old. Oh, and he were a warm little he were a barman. And do you know, he were always pinching things, you know. And he thought there's something wrong with him. It's funny how they come to that conclusion, isn't it? So I thought I'll take him to one of these psychiatrists, them funny blokes, them. So he took him to a psychiatrist. He says, now then, old love, he says, can they do out for lad? He said, well, I don't know, Flower, what's up with you? He said, well, he's always taking things, always pinching. Oh, he said, is he? He said, well, said that. He said, it'll cost you £100. He said, what for? He says, to analyse, to diagnose what's up with him. He said, 100 knicker? He said, aye. He said, go on then, go on. Get him inside, I'll pay it. 3 minutes later, his back hard, he said, it's right. He says, that what? He said, I've diagnosed what's up with him. He said, 3 minutes, £100, that's diagnosed what? He said, I have. He said, well, what's up with him? He says, he's a thief.
I didn't really think that was a particularly good joke, to be honest.
I'm good, I know me. No, this is true, though. No, there were two tramps, you know, and they were talking. And one said to the other, he says, are they hungry, old? He said, I am, lad. He said, well, could they eat? He said, I could eat tabletop. He said, well, I'll show you how to get some snap.
Quite often, he said, I could eat a tabletop. Right, I'll show you how to get some snap. Snap is a word that colloquially in Yorkshire at the time would have been, they've got the longest lead up, haven't they? Like, it's like telling a story in a way, isn't it? And then at the end, there's a little bit of a punchline. But I suppose they fill the time differently in their stand-up routines back then, because it was like joke, 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 joke. There's none of this like talking and observation. There's just like a little bit of a story in the lead up where you can get some comedy in. And what I was going to say is his particular brand of that is he doesn't present as somebody who has this deep colloquial Yorkshire dialect, because at the time, you know, it was less, was it less multicultural in Yorkshire at the time? I think it was probably quite multicultural, but, you know, you didn't see it on the telly as much, I would say. So, like, when he's saying these words, like, he gets some snap, like, the people in the crowd who identify with Yorkshire and, like, laugh in a way at him saying the words. Like, you know, here's a stranger using our lingo sort of thing. There's a bit of that, except he's not a stranger. He uses those words because he's born and bred in Yorkshire. So.
Well, how are we going to get it? He says, watch this. So he bent down and he picked a lump of Osmo cup. He said, what are you going to do? He says, just...
He picked up a lump of horse muck up.
Watch this. So he knocked on this door, and this woman, he says, could you put me a bit of salt on this? She said, throw it away and come in. Hey, and she gave him a right slap up do, that knows. 5 courser. He says, what's the rest of that? He said, very good, old fruit. Very nice.
So he asked the woman to put some salt on the horse muck, and she said, throw it away, and she invited him and gave him a right good slap up do. a 5-courser, and he said, "What do you think of that, my old duck, my old fruit?" So
So he thought, I'll work a flanker. So he went and he picked a lump of horse manure up, and he went to
So he went and picked a lump of horse manure up as well.
this big mansion. He thought,
Went to a big
bigger
mansion.
house, mansion, I shall get a better meal, see? So he rang bell, and her ladyship answered, "Yes, my good man." He said, "Could you put me a bit of salt on this?" And she said, "Oh, how revolting." She said, "Throw it away and go round to the stables and get a warm piece."
That was quite good, wasn't it? That was quite good. Throw it away and go round to the stables and get a war piece.
It's all clever stuff.
I also like his style. He has this 70s. Like, it reminds me of my great uncle John and his generation. They would wear suits, look smart. The gold watch, the ring, the little symbolic pieces, but not much flash is there. It's just a bit of gold watch, bit of a ring, nice and smart.
You know that, don't you? Clever stuff. Now, do you know, I'm not calling this a true.
Sorry, this guy's talking in English. This guy's talking in northern dialect of English. This is Yorkshire, but Welsh is something similar but different. Like, what you're probably having trouble with as well is it's a bit like. Do you know what? It's a bit like American dialects from like hood rapping stuff where they don't say all the words. There's a lot of, instead of the, t. I'm going to open t door. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to open t door. So the word the and to is the same. It's t. I'm going to open. I'm going to open. I'm going to open t door. The door. So like every other word is just a sound. And they often mean the same thing. You kind of get used to it if you hear it enough. But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? And it's interesting that in the 70s, this is national television. Part of it was they all had their different dialects. Some comedians are from different parts of the country, and they clearly stand out with their dialects. But back then, what was a breakthrough, this was the BBC wouldn't have all these different dialects back then. They would mainly have the Queen's pronunciation, the standard received Queen's English on the BBC. But ITV, the independent network with advertising, which was a bit more for the masses, obviously did. And it's interesting because the BBC still today, like Limmy's a good example. His Scottish comedy show went on BBC Scotland, but did it make it to the mainstream BBC? Well, it's the dialect's a bit difficult for some people. They're doing more now of this over the last 30 years, a lot more, maybe more than 30 years, of opening it up to different dialects. Now you've got commentators with a Welsh accent. You've got newsreaders from Northern Ireland, like on the main. You've got people with all the different dialects contributing now. But it used to be that the aim for the BBC was, if you want to be on the BBC, to not have those dialects and different things, mainly because it's confusing to people who are not from, for a national perspective, it's harder to understand. But we let that go a lot more now. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. The Queen's English, standard received pronunciation.
I'm going to tell you, there was a bloke and he won £200 at horses. Then
There was a bloke and he won £200 at the horses.
he was a gambler. Good un. And he won this £200, so I thought, right, I'm going to live it up. Well, you do, don't you, when you got a bob or two?
You do, don't you, when you've got a bob or two?
And he went to London, Hey, they're ready for you there. They'll take it off you.
He did. That's there's a common still to this day. There's a common north-south divide. The north, it's tough. It's more impoverished. They have less money. They're tighter with their money. Wait, I should do this pros and cons. If you're from the north, you think of yourself as more tough, more rugged, and that down south they're more soft, and that they're more free and liberal with their money, and they've got a lot more investment because London has the Houses of Parliament and all the politicians, all the rich politicians, all got the money down there. They don't throw it up our way up north. And conversely, if you're from the south, you think the people from the north, slightly less educated, slightly more working class, and a bit rough and a bit like a bit, obviously the analogies with poverty and stuff like that, that's the sort of north-south divide. He's having a poke at the people in London there, ready to take your money off you, because the people up north aren't stupid with their money. You see, right? It's a little poke. To this day.
Aye. Had it a right good day. Had a gambler too, lost. Jar or two, lost.
He had a good day. He went, did some gambling and lost, and had a beer or two and lost.
Bird or two, lost.
Had a girl or two and lost.
He thought, well, this is it. 10 o'clock, I'll get some bevy down me, and how's your father? Aye. So he got bevy in, last few quid. 11:45, he thought, that's it, I'll get this hen off home. When he looked in his pocket, he was skinned. No.
So when he had his last beer, and then when he went to go home, he got no money.
Thought I've overdone it. He thought, fair enough, I'll get down in Hyde Park, thought he. Goes to Hyde.
So he thought, fair enough, I'll get down in the park for me. I'll sleep in the park.
Park, looks in, full up, hippies, hoppies, all that. Well, he thought, right. So he went to Trafalgar Square, he thought, I'll get, he was too late, full of tramps, full of tramps, full of tramps. Thought, that's it. Kept staggering along. Come to Thames Bridge, he thought, this'll do for me, old love. Put sports paper out his head, I'm on bridge, on parapet. Got laid back, the nosy were off. Big Rolls Royce rose up, beautiful.
So he's laying down on the bridge to go to sleep because he can't get his way home and he's drunk. And a big Rolls Royce rolls up.
Blonde, she was a belter. Oh. She says, now then, old lad, are they hungry? He said, I am. She said, what would they like? He said, let's some tatey rash.
She said, are you hungry? He said, I am. She said, here's some potato hash.
She said, fair enough, bring this in on. Took him back to a lovely penthouse, gorgeous, you know. Oh, caviar the lot. Oh, he dined like a king. Said, now then, are you thirsty? He said, I am. She said, what would you like? He said, I'll have a pint of mixed.
That's, again, it's a colloquial laugh because a pint of mixed is not like, you know, if you're up in the posh penthouse, you don't have half of this and half of that mixed together in the way that the northern people do with their ales.
Hey, scotch on the rocks, you know. Lovely. She said, now then, would you like a bath? He said, well, aye, go on, lass. Bathroom, you know, lovely. Shovel full of them bath cubes in. Yeah, stick it big toe up, then as Oh, he got out and took towel, give it a eye. Pyjamas, monogram, they were beautiful. Oh, lovely stuff. She said, you ready for bed? He said, I am. Dived in, he got laid back there. There's others when I get in the bed, that don't have love to stretch, don't it? Oh, he just lay there, and all of a sudden door opened, and she was stood there in black negligee. Oh.
These jokes do get a bit saucy, don't they?
Hey, he don't look, he don't look. Oh, and she swayed up to bed, you know. And she dropped negligee, you know. She did, she dropped it. Aye, she says, move over. And he fell into Thames.
Yeah, that was long, and it went really nowhere. She said, move over, and he fell into the river. So the joke was that he was just dreaming. So...
I don't like about, you know. Hey, I'm right pleased you come tonight, I am, because you're grand. They do the bloke walking down the road, and he's walking down, and it looked, and there was another fella there with a dirty big stick, and he's chucking it right across this water. And this dog's running and tiptoeing across water.
The dog is running and tiptoeing across the water.
He said, by gum, old love, that's a clever dog. He said, I must be joking. He said, why's that? He said, it can't swim.
That was all right. I think we'll leave it there. We didn't find a racist one. I imagine they edited it out for their YouTube upload, didn't they? But I guarantee you, I've heard him come on stage. There'd been some sort of heckling, catcalling. He said, oh, you know, some sort of joke about himself and his appearance. You know, one of those tired racist sort of things, just dropped some sort of, casual racism at himself, and then everyone's sort of gone, oh, yeah. And then like they got on with it, and he like tells normal jokes in the main at a time when other people told racist jokes, like that other man that we just saw. That was a good one though, wasn't it? So he throws the stick, and the dog goes running out for the stick in the water, and it's running on top of the water, and it fetches the stick, and then he returns, and he says, "That's a clever dog." He says, "That's a clever dog." He says, "That's a clever dog because it ran out on the water to get the stick." He says, "It's not a clever dog. He can't even swim." So, that. It's not a clever dog. It doesn't go so well when I say it. It doesn't go so well when I do it. Do you want to hear this again? This is the Lounge Goth version. I've been crying. This is Lounge Goth. I invented a kind of music. Lobby Goth, Lounge Goth. We'll listen to this one more time. Oh, you can't even hear it. No, you can't even hear it. We'll listen to this one more time. Cancel that. So that is Lounge Goth, Lobby Goth. It's a style of music that we created, a gothic. It's on this channel that I've made called Light Horse. It's on this channel that I've made. Where's your web browsing? This channel that I made called Light Horse. It's goth, Lounge Goth. I made it. Invented it. It's I said it earlier in the stream. I'll say it one more time. The aim is to find something. We talked about it another time. We got vaporwave, we got Simpson wave, we got people slowing down Ariana Grande songs and putting loads of reverb on them. We've got, before all that, DJ Screw from Washington DC slowing down their hip hop tapes and freestyle raps, slowing that down. So we've got the concepts that we're trying to feed into the mix are slowing of it down and resonant reverb, and I didn't manage to get any. So we need to really go lobby goth. That is lobby goth or lounge goth. So the idea is like you're chilling in the lounge. That's not your lounge. It's the lounge in the hotel. It's the lobby, and the music's on in the background. It's like not offensive goth, like with screaming and like heavy metal guitars and thumping drums, not offensive goth like that, more like depressive goth like Joy Division, but not so much about concrete cityscapes and escapes, but more about like airport goth, like lobby goth. I think lobby goth and lounge goth, lobby goth. They say it well enough. So the only thing I need to introduce into that soundscape that you've got there, into that vibe, is the vaporwave sort of neo 80s cheap beat. But I've got some of those ideas forming on my sketch pads on my music creation program. They're just not in that one because that one wasn't played and recorded to a BPM, so I couldn't put a beat over it. But the next one I will use a beat involved at some, not a beat, maybe not a beat, but maybe a pulse. There'll just be something more to it than is there. But that's the seed. That's lobby goth. It's not supposed to be that scary. It's supposed to be like kind of background chill. But gothy chill. Goth, lobby goth. It's lobby goth. It's lounge goth. So there it is. That exists. So that's the way we've capped off the stream now. I'm going to stop talking on the internet and go and walk the doggy in the sunshine. I will endeavour to be back on this evening when the sun is not shining. So you be good, my little puckos. When I say back on, I suppose Twitch again tonight and starting YouTube. I don't know if I start YouTube again on Monday. Obviously Mental Health Monday, I'm back on Monday on Twitch. But I want YouTube daytime YouTube streams. And we're going to be talking about some mad conspiracy theory that 800 years has been inserted into history and stuff. We're going to be talking about that. So you might stream in a bit, right? I'll have to watch that then. I won't be able to because I'll be out walking the dog. So that's a shitter. But if you're watching this, everyone else can watch. I can host you, can't I? I can host you. I have to look into that because I looked at the buttons on the first day I set it up, and now I don't know where they are. But I will. If I can watch. I might watch. I might. What did I look at earlier? Earlier when I turned on Twitch, right? When I turned on the chuffer, there was suggested videos down the side, and one of them said ASMR, right? So I clicked it, and it was some woman licking some ears. And I was like, why are you suggesting this to me? I'm the worst person to suggest this to. The worst person. I'm going to have the worst opinion of this out of everyone. Why suggest that to me? You've got your knickers in a twitch. I binned it off straight away. But, yeah. I'm more of a producer than a viewer. Yeah, I do watch Asmongold, but I don't watch him live. I watch him edited on the YouTube on my phone. So, lick me ears, please. We're not. There's no ear licking. I've never licked an ear. I've done a lot of ASMR in my time. Never licked an ear. So, you be good, my little puckosh. You be good. I've got to go and attend to my little well-behaved doggy who's been a really good boy and deserves some outdoorsy time now. I'll see you anon. We'll just say that. I'll see you anon.